Cassi Davis, the cherished star of Tyler Perry's most legendary productions, has finally spoken out, and what she just admitted about Tyler Perry has sent shockwaves throughout the entire industry. After years of staying silent, her words are now revealing a reality that could completely reshape how we view one of Black Hollywood's most powerful figures. What she shared is almost unbelievable. Stay tuned, because this revelation just turned everything upside down. Whenever Tyler Perry's world comes to mind, from the Madea movies to the iconic stage plays and massive TV empire, one familiar face instantly stands out. Cassi Davis, widely recognized for her unforgettable portrayal of the razor-sharp Aunt Bam. She's been a constant in Perry's productions for well over 20 years. Fans have shared laughter with her, tears alongside her, and stood by her through her health struggles. Yet, until recently, they had never heard her version of events. For years, rumors swirled. What really happened behind closed doors between Tyler Perry and his most trusted cast members? Why did some actors suddenly vanish from his projects, only to reappear years later with little or no explanation? And how did someone like Cassi Davis, loyal, talented, and deeply loved by fans, quietly drift from the spotlight during some of Perry's most pivotal moments? It seems that silence has now been shattered. In a recent, private podcast conversation that has since gone viral, Cassi Davis spoke out like never before.
Her words were raw, emotional, and completely unexpected. She opened up about her tight connection with Tyler Perry, the truth of what unfolded during some of the most critical years of their collaboration, and the emotional strain of remaining quiet while the world was only shown one version of the story. What she revealed is making people reevaluate everything they believed about Tyler Perry. His approach to business, his sense of loyalty, and even the faith-driven image he projects publicly. In today's video, we're digging into the full details of Cassi Davis's revelation, the behind-the-scenes drama that caused her absence from Perry's projects, the possible impact her words may have on Tyler Perry's legacy, and how fans and the entertainment world are now reacting. So don't go anywhere. What you're about to hear isn't just emotional. It's deeply controversial. It's unfiltered and profoundly real. And this is the part where everything changes. Long before Madea became a cultural powerhouse and Tyler Perry built his empire into billions, there was a small, determined group of actors who stood by his vision when no one else believed. Among them was Cassi Davis, an actress with a gospel-rooted soul, comedic brilliance, and a presence that lit up the stage. Cassi began working with Tyler Perry in the early 2000s, back in the era of his traveling Madea stage plays. She wasn't yet a household name, but Tyler Perry saw something in her that others had missed. Her rare ability to mix comedy with deep, emotional truth made her an instant standout with audiences and within Perry's close creative family. Together, they made magic. From Madea's family reunion to Madea Goes to Jail, House of Payne, Meet the Browns, and many more, Cassi Davis became a foundational pillar of the Tyler Perry universe. Asterisk, asterisk. Audiences adored her for that sassy delivery, those soulful eyes, and the rare kind of authenticity she brought to every single role. Whether she was portraying Aunt Bam or Ella Payne, she did it all with undeniable grace and strength. But what many people never realized is that behind the scenes, Cassi and Tyler weren't simply co-workers. They shared a deeply rooted spiritual bond. Tyler has often mentioned in interviews that he surrounded himself with faith-driven people, individuals who could lift him up in prayer during his darkest times, especially back when he faced rejection and was overlooked by Hollywood. Cassi was one of those trusted few. According to insiders, she served as Tyler's spiritual rock. She was someone who would quote Bible verses during tough moments, lay hands on him before performances, and offer sage wisdom he truly relied on. She wasn't just a fellow cast member, she was family. In fact, for a while, rumors even began circulating that the two might be involved romantically, claims both of them firmly and repeatedly denied. Still, their on-screen chemistry and unwavering loyalty off-screen made them one of the most respected and beloved duos in Black entertainment. But even the strongest connections can go through storms. And in Chapter 2, we dive into Cassi Davis's sudden disappearance from Perry's productions, the increasing chatter about a possible rift, and why absolutely no one, not even her, most loyal fans, saw it coming. One minute, Cassi Davis seemed to be everywhere. House of Payne reruns, Tyler Perry stage plays, BT specials. Red carpet appearances, and then she was just gone. No public statement, no official press release, just silence. For fans who had come to expect her as a constant presence in almost every Tyler Perry creation, that silence spoke volumes. For nearly 4 years, Cassi Davis was conspicuously missing from Tyler's biggest projects. Madea's farewell play tour? No Cassi. The new House of Payne reboot? She was nowhere to be found. Major promotional events for the Oval or Sistas? Still missing, not even a quick cameo. Naturally, fans started speculating. Some pointed to her health. Cassi had earlier revealed she was dealing with Bell's palsy, a condition that visibly affected her facial muscles. Others, however, began to whisper about possible drama behind the curtain. Maybe it was a creative dispute, or worse, a personal betrayal. But what raised even more eyebrows? Tyler Perry never once addressed her absence publicly. Not a single mention. That's when the conspiracy theories kicked into high gear. Was Cassi pushed out? Did she walk away after a disagreement over money? Or was it something deeper, a spiritual clash between faith and fame? Some even believed that Cassi had become uncomfortable with the direction Tyler's newer content was taking, with more explicit storylines, heavier drama, and what she allegedly saw as straying from the original faith-based foundation. One blogger put it this way: Cassi was always about God first. Maybe she felt the work no longer reflected her core values. In a resurfaced interview from back in 2018, Cassi made a vague comment about being in a spiritual season of separation. At the time, most chalked it up to her focusing on family or health. But looking back now, fans are starting to believe she may have been alluding to a deeper divide, possibly even a growing rift between her and Tyler Perry himself. And here's the twist that nobody could have anticipated.
Sources close to Tyler Perry Studios have claimed there were whispers of a private falling out between Tyler and Cassi centered around creative control, unexpected script changes, and what one insider described as crossed boundaries. Still, no one spoke about it openly. Not Cassi, not Tyler, not even the other cast members. That is, until now. In her recent podcast confession, Cassi finally revealed that her absence wasn't just tied to her health battles. She shared that she and Tyler went through what she called a season of distance, one caused by emotional hurt, misunderstandings, and the need to choose peace over performance. Her voice trembled as she spoke. "I love that man with all my heart, but we lost our way. We both did." She paused. "I stayed silent too long. I wanted to protect him, but it nearly broke me." That moment stunned listeners. For the very first time, fans were hearing straight from Cassi herself that something very real, personal, and painful had taken place. Behind the scene, this wasn't just show business tension. It was something deeper, something that shifted everything. But the most heartbreaking part, she admitted she cried through full episodes of House of Payne, knowing the audience had no idea what was really happening, fearing they might never find out.
What happened between Cassi Davis and Tyler Perry may not have been public, chaotic, or messy, but it was raw, painful, and buried for years. Until now, when Cassi Davis sat down for that now viral podcast conversation, no one could have expected just how much she would reveal. This wasn't a PR stunt. It wasn't a book tour or a carefully planned expose. It was just Cassi, unguarded, unscripted, and finally ready to speak her truth after years of holding it in. She took a long breath and began with this. "People think Tyler Perry and I were just coworkers, but the truth is, he was like a brother to me. And sometimes family can hurt you worse than strangers." From that moment, the tone was set. This wasn't about gossip. This was about betrayal, pain, and letting go of something Cassi had carried in silence for far too long. She went on. "There were times I felt spiritually torn," she said. "I had to decide between standing up or staying silent for the sake of his reputation, and I chose silence for years." According to Cassi, the breaking point came during production meetings for one of Tyler's more intense series, rumored to be either The Oval or Ruthless. Cassi, who's always been vocal about her Christian beliefs, expressed concern about the explicit sexual themes, the violent storylines, and the apparent move away from the spiritual foundation that had once defined Perry's early work. "I told him, Tyler, this isn't what we started with. Where's the heart? Where's the healing?" Cassi recalled. She says her concerns weren't welcomed. He told me, "Cassie, this is biz now. This is what sells." And I remember thinking, we used to do this to lift people up, not to shock them. That moment, Cassie says, marked the beginning of a spiritual rift. And she made one thing very clear. She never held anger toward Tyler, only heartbreak. Heartbreak from watching someone she loved, someone she had faith in, slowly drift from the very values that once gave their work so much meaning, she said. She prayed for him. She fasted on his behalf. She even thought about stepping away quietly. So what exactly does Cassie's confession mean moving forward? For one, the entire Tyler Perry ecosystem has been pushed into a state of reflection. While Perry has yet to release any public statement about Cassie's interview, insiders at Tyler Perry Studios report a noticeable change in the atmosphere. Staff meetings have become more guarded, PR is more tightly managed, and among long-time collaborators, there's a growing air of tension. You can sense it. People are treading carefully. As one anonymous crew member shared on a blog, it's like walking on eggshells. There are also quiet rumblings of internal reevaluations, from the kinds of stories being approved to how actors are treated behind the scenes. Because, as Cassi made painfully clear, success doesn't justify silence, and fame can't cancel out the spiritual cost of losing your voice. But perhaps the most powerful ripple effect in all of this? Others are beginning to speak up. Since Cassie's confession, at least 3 former cast members from Perry's productions have alluded to their own silent struggles. Though none have spoken publicly just yet, one actress posted cryptically, "Sometimes healing begins when the first domino falls. Respect Cassi." Fans, too, are starting to view Perry's content through a different lens. Online discussions are analyzing how his newer work has evolved, some praising the fearless storytelling, while others are echoing Cassi's concerns, saying the anointing has been swapped out for algorithms and network agendas. Even the church community, which had initially remained silent, has slowly started weighing in. A few pastors have taken time during their sermons to commend Cassi's courage, using her story to highlight the urgent need for integrity and moral leadership in the entertainment industry. Meanwhile, Cassi herself has stayed grounded. She hasn't chased more attention or press. Instead, she's returned to what she describes as her first love, serving in ministry, mentoring young women in the arts and choosing peace over performance. "I didn't speak out to tear anyone down," she told a small Christian podcast recently.
"I spoke out to set myself free and maybe help someone else know it's okay to tell the truth, even if that truth shakes the room." So what does all this mean for Tyler Perry? That depends entirely on if or how he chooses to respond. Because in the wake of a heartfelt confession like Cassi's, silence becomes a statement of its own. And for the fans who grew up holding on to the Madea message, who looked to Perry's work for faith-centered hope, who saw Cassi and Tyler as a symbol of creative harmony, the reckoning feels very real. There's still room for redemption, still space for healing, but it all begins with honesty. And that's exactly what Cassi gave the world, even when it came at a personal cost. So now, we turn it over to you, the viewer. Do you think Cassi Davis was right to speak her truth? Should Tyler Perry issue a response, or does his silence already say enough? And what does this moment reveal about how we treat loyalty, honesty, and faith within the world of entertainment? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We're reading everyone. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video to keep the conversation alive. Because if Cassi Davis taught us anything, it's this: sometimes your voice becomes the breakthrough someone else has been waiting for.